Yeah, good.
This meeting is being
Good evening,
recorded.
guys. In the last session, we discussed about how to work with the Terraform. What is Terraform? How to work with Terraform? What is the architecture of the Terraform that we learned? We discussed about how to deal with the credentials in the Terraform, how to work with the variables in the Terraform. All this information we discussed. How to create virtual machines by using Terraform, and how to create multiple virtual machines, how to set up infrastructure, and how to destroy the infrastructure by using Terraform. Okay, so the commands of the Terraform, those things we discussed in the previous session. Are you guys able to understand what is Terraform and how to work with the Terraform? Are you guys able to understand what is Terraform and how to work with the Terraform? Yes, fine guys. So today here uh, we are going to discuss about doubts clarification about all the tools that we learned so far and any other resource that we want to create by using Terraform. So we have seen the documentation of the Terraform. So whatever the resource you want to create by using Terraform, you can take it from Terraform registry. So what is it available, guys? Terraform registry. So what is the purpose of this Terraform registry? Browse providers. So we are going to use AWS. Now see here, it is supporting for AWS cloud provider, Azure cloud provider, GCP cloud provider, Kubernetes, Alibaba cloud, Oracle cloud. So like that, it is supporting for multiple cloud providers. Currently we are using AWS cloud. Okay, AWS cloud. Go to documentation of the AWS. Use the Amazon Web Services provider to interact with many resources supported by AWS. You must configure the provider with the proper credentials before you can use it. So we are already configuring provider credentials in our TypeScript file. How many ways we can work with the provider credentials, guys? Can you respond? Can you respond? How many ways we are going to specify provider credentials? You can configure the provider credentials in the main TypeScript file, or you can keep that in a separate provider TF file. You can configure the credentials in the environment variables also, and you can use it. Okay. Example, you can specify the provider configuration details like this by using region, Terraform, authentication and configuration. Like that, you can configure the details. Yeah, this is the actual information that we are going to supply. Provider AWS. Okay, so here you can configure the provider as a AWS. If it is a Azure, then you should configure this as a Azure. Region, in which region you want to create AWS infrastructure, you can specify the region name. And IAM user is required. IAM user with programmatic access, we will get access key and secret key. We are going to configure them, or else we can configure them in the profile also. Profile means like this, you can set up the details. Okay, so provider AWS will be empty. You no need to configure your access key, secret key, and region. You can set them as a environment variables, and you can use it. Okay, another thing is shared configuration file. Shared configuration file concept also will be available. So here you can, inside the home directory, you can use .aws folder. In that credentials, there you can store your information. Shared configuration file also, you can use it to store the data. Right, there are multiple shared credential files, shared configuration file, shared credentials file concept is also available. So inside the user's home directory .credentials, there you can keep, this is shared configuration and credential files. Shared configuration, the AWS provider can source credentials and other settings from the shared configuration credentials files. By default, these files are located at the home directory .aws config .home.aws and credentials. That means you can keep the credentials file inside this location with the AWS credentials, or you can keep inside config also. Okay, fine. So total 3 ways we can use it. In which file you are going to keep it, default file, that config file location you can specify here. For example, if you are using the config file, then in the /users tfuser.aws.conf, that file you can supply. Or if you keep in the credentials file, then you can supply that credentials file also. You can set them in the main TypeScript file, or you can set them in the environment variable, or you can go for shared config files or shared credentials file also to work with credentials for the provider, credentials of the provider when we are working with the AWS. Okay, fine guys. Now, in order to create a EC2 instance, what is the script we are writing? That syntax, if you don't know, that also you can get it from here. Elastic Compute Cloud, AMI copy, AMI fleet, AWS EC2 tag, EC2 EIP, EC2 instance. In order to create a EC2 instance, we are going to use like this. What is the AMI? What is the instance type? What are the tags you want to specify? The remaining things it is going to take by default. AMI name we are going to specify, and instance type we are going to specify T2 micro or T3 micro. And if you want to specify the resource VPC for your EC2 instance, that VPC also you can select based on the CIDR block, AWS VPC, my VPC. Resource subnet, you can select the subnet also for your VPC. Network configuration you can select. So like this, key pair also you can select for your VPC by using key name. You can specify the AWS key pair. You can create a resource. It is going to create that key pair. Okay. Placement group and instances, spot instances like this. You can write whatever the resource you want from the EC2. If you want to select AMI, then this is the configuration. AWS AMI example, virtualization type, device name, EBS block device. You can configure a resource for the AMI like this, right? If you want AMI from a instance, then you can configure AMI from instance example. You can specify the instance name. Launch permission, you can specify the launch permission, image ID, account ID, right? Public access you can specify, organization access we can specify. EC2 host, EC2 host, instance type, and availability zone, host recovery, auto placement. Several options we can supply in this Terraform configuration. Okay, for EC2. Suppose if you want to work with RDS database, so I have shown you how we can go with the RDS, right? Here for RDS database, RDS relational database. If you want to create a relational database by using this, so this is the resource AWS DB instance, default MySQL, db.t3.micro, username, password you want to create by using this. Okay, so you need to add the provider data and the resource you will specify as AWS DB instance. This is a fixed name, guys. This is the fixed name that you need to use. Based on this only, this Terraform is going to understand that we are trying to create a database. This name can be anything. It is just a alias name. The first name is the mandatory and it is a fixed name. The second one is default. You can give anything for the second name. So this is the resource configuration you need to do to create RDS. Creating MySQL database by using Terraform. Okay, guys, whenever you are creating anything, that user should have a permission for that role. Okay, so here, if you want to create a S3 bucket by using Terraform, now add S3 policy for the IAM user. First thing is add S3 policy for IAM user. Execute below script. Execute below Terraform script to create S3 bucket in AWS. To create S3 bucket in AWS. Okay. Next one, if you want to create MySQL database in AWS using Terraform. Create MySQL DB in AWS using Terraform. How to create one MySQL database in the AWS by using Terraform. So here you can configure your provider details. You can configure your provider details. Along with that provider details, you can configure your resource details. In the resource details, we are going to specify AWS DB instance default. You can name can be anything. What is the allocated storage? What is the engine version? So if you go to AWS management console, same options you can observe. Through GUI, whatever we are selecting from the web, for those options we are setting the values in the Terraform script file. That's it. Go to RDS service. I want to create one database by using AWS cloud. Yes. Creating the database using RDS service. So here, when you select the database, there are several options. DB instance I want to create. So create a database. When we are trying to create a database, we have to select several options. Let me show you. Standard create or easy create. Standard create, engine type. What is the engine type you want? Here we are specifying engine as a MySQL. Engine type, that means what type of database you want to create. It is supporting for multiple engines like Aurora, MySQL, Maria, Postgres, Oracle, SQL Server. Which engine you want, that engine we are selecting as a MySQL. So here in the GUI, we are selecting the engine by using this card. But here we are selecting the engine name as a MySQL. Engine version. So here version we are selecting 8.0.28. Here I'm configuring the version 5.7, something like that. So which version you are selecting? 5.7. That is what I have specified here, right? Right. So whatever the options we are selecting in the management console, instead of we are doing these creations every time for every project, we can create a Terraform script and we can reuse those scripts for multiple projects. For every project, EC2 instances are required. For every project, VPC is required. For every project, S3 bucket is required. For every project, RDS is required. So instead of creating this infrastructure manually, if you create the infrastructure only once by using Terraform, that we can reuse. Now see, engine type we have selected. Instead of selecting that in the Terraform, I am writing as a engine. Engine version we are selecting. Instead of selecting that, we are giving as a version 5.7. Now templates. Now settings, instance identifier. Okay, instance class we are specifying, instance name we are specifying. So for this username we are setting as a 4. Okay, password we are setting 4 bars, like this, whatever you want. Parameter group names, dbm5 large. Okay, so here dbt3 micro instance class, db instance class. It's just a simple English we are going to follow. Whatever the options we have in the GUI, same thing we are writing in the Terraform script file. That's it. So this is nothing but code to create the infrastructure. So Terraform is a software which is used to create the infrastructure by using code. Instead of using the GUI, whatever the options are available in the GUI, I'm going to take it here. Now you see allocated storage. Here we are specifying allocated storage is equal to 10. By default, allocated storage is 100 GB. I want to specify 10 GB to store the data. Minimum 100 GB allocated is required, 100 GB. So here allocated storage I need to specify as 100. Allocated storage. How will I know that this is should be the key? So that is already available in the GUI, allocated storage. Okay. Now parameter group, skip a final screenshot. Here we have some other options. If you don't give anything, by default it will consider the default value. Currently VPC security group, I'm not giving anything, then it will take the default one, right? Additional information, additional configuration. Skip a final screenshot. I mean, I have given one option. What is this? Skip a final snapshot is equal to true. Final snapshot is equal to true. There will be one setting for that. Final snapshot. Yeah. Copy tags to the snapshot. Automated backups. DB options. Find the snapshot option is equal to true. Like that, we are writing the code to create this infrastructure. Okay, so generally we can create this infrastructure from the GUI, user friendly. So, but if I want to create the database for 10 projects, 10 times I need to do the same settings. 10 times I need to do the same settings. So instead of doing that DB creation for 10 times, if I create the file once, can I execute this file for 10 times just within a fraction of seconds? And this is reusability and proven solution. If it is executed successfully for one project, then same thing can be executed for multiple projects without any problem. A human being can do the mistake, but a machine's code will not do the mistake. If you write the code correctly, if the code is executed successfully for one time, then it will execute successfully for 1,000 times also. So a human being may do a mistake, but our code will not do the mistake. So like this, we are going to create our Terraform scripts, which are used to create the infrastructure required for our application. In order to execute this MySQL related thing, what we need to do? Provide RDS access for IAM user. Provide RDS access for IAM user. Execute below script to create RDS. Execute below script to create MySQL DB in AWS cloud. Right, guys, am I remembering this code? Am I remembering this script, whatever I need to write? Will anybody buttify this script? Will anybody buttify this script? Do we need to buttify? रट्टा मारना है क्या? Come on. Do we need to buttify this script or we no need to buttify this script? We no need to buttify this script. Then what can we do? We can get it from the Terraform registry website. We can get it from the Terraform registry website. Are you clear? Are you clear? S3 bucket creation. In order to create a S3 bucket ACL, with ACL I want to create S3 bucket. Resource bucket name, resource ACL permissions we are going to provide for that bucket. S3 bucket object. S3 bucket object. Resource AWS S3 bucket your bucket name, key, bucket key, source path, e tag, encrypting with KMS key. You can create the file in the S3 bucket. You can create the file in the S3 bucket with the security also. This is the resource. AWS KMS key, AWS S3 bucket ACL, S3 bucket object source index.html, bucket ownership controls, everything. You can do it. Right? VPC, virtual private cloud, AWS VPC, AWS VPC, VPC creation, network ACL, AWS route table, AWS final VPC. So resource, basic usage with the tags, CIDR blocks, VPC with the CIDR from AWS IPAM. So this is the resource that we are going to write for this AWS VPC. VPC endpoint, right? VPC endpoint policy, VPC peering connections that we can do. AWS VPC. Example, VPC ID, variable default VPC ID that we can create. We can create AWS VPC with this. Subnet, AWS subnet, AWS subnet is the name of the resource. So this subnet should be created in which VPC, that VPC ID we need to set. The subnet should be created in which VPC, that VPC subnet we can specify. AWS security groups, route table, route NAT gateways, so everything. it is available. So you just need to take the syntax from here and you need to use it based on our requirement and we can create it. Guys, tomorrow I will give you some Terraform scripts which we are going to use frequently, like how to create VPC, how to create subnets, how to create VPC, how to create subnet, how to map our application to domain name by using Route 53. Some frequently used Terraform scripts I will upload to GitHub repository. I will share the repository URL by tomorrow session so that you can practice them. How I have given frequently used playbooks of the Ansible. Similarly, I'm going to create some Terraform scripts also. I will provide you because I need to take the syntax from here and I need to create those Terraform scripts. I will create those scripts and I will upload to GitHub repository and I will share those. I will share that GitHub repository in our Telegram. So I will give you the common scripts that we are going to use. Okay, fine. Yeah. Apart from this, anybody having any questions? Anybody having any questions? So I will take the doubts clarifications here. So before going to the doubts clarifications, so can we uh, summarize what we learned so far? What are the tools we learned? Where we are going to use which tool, guys? What tools we have learned? So recently, very recent tool that we have completed is Terraform. So what is the purpose of Terraform software? What is the purpose of Terraform software? Can you guys tell me? Can you guys tell me? Yeah. Can you guys please respond? Can you unmute your mic now? What is the purpose of Terraform software? Unmute your mics. So Terraform software, can you respond in the chat box? So what is the purpose of Terraform? Infrastructure as a code. Infrastructure as a code. It is called as IAC. That means whatever the infrastructure we need, whatever the infrastructure we need for our project, we can create the infrastructure by using Terraform. It is infrastructure provisioning software. We can create the infrastructure by writing the code. So what is the extension for the Terraform files? .tf. We are going to write a HCL language, HashiCorp language. We are going to use to create the Terraform script. Terraform is specific to only AWS, or it is for other languages, other cloud providers also. Terraform is only for AWS, or it will support for other cloud platforms also. Terraform not only for AWS, it will support for other cloud platforms also. Terraform is one of the important tool that we are going to use in the DevOps to create the infrastructure required for the project. Whatever the servers, whatever the network, whatever the database, whatever is required, that we are going to create by using Terraform. That is the recent tool we have discussed. Next one, we discussed about one tool called Ansible software, Ansible tool. What is the purpose of Ansible? What is the purpose of Ansible? Ansible is used to create the infrastructure. Ansible is used for configuration management. Ansible is used for infrastructure creation, or configuration is configuration management tool. It is configuration management software. What is the difference between Terraform and Ansible? What is the difference between Terraform and Ansible? Guys, difference between Terraform and Ansible. Ansible is used to install the softwares. Terraform is used to create the machines. If the machines are created, then we can use Ansible to install the softwares in those machines. Okay, next one. We discussed about one software called Jenkins. What is the purpose of Jenkins? What is the purpose of Jenkins? CI/CD software. Build deployment automation using pipelines. Build and deployment automation. Build and deployment automation we can done by using Jenkins software. Okay. Then we discussed about SonarQube software. What is the purpose of this SonarQube? What is the purpose of SonarQube? Code review. SonarQube code quality checking, code quality checking software. Code review, code review can be done by using SonarQube software. Okay. Then we discussed about Tomcat server. Tomcat. What is the purpose of Tomcat? What is the purpose of Tomcat? Can we call Tomcat as a web server? Can we call Tomcat as a web server? Web server application for application web server used to deploy our applications. Tomcat is a web server which is used to deploy our applications. In which folder we will deploy our applications in the Tomcat? What is the folder name? What is the folder name? Web apps is the folder name which is used to deploy our applications. So Java applications will be deployed in the web apps folder in the form of WAR file by using Tomcat. Before that, we discussed about GitHub. What is the purpose of GitHub? What is the purpose of GitHub? GitHub is a repository, or we can say it is version control software, source code repository management. We can say that GitHub is version control software. Version control software for source code management. Source code management. Source code management. We are going to do by using this GitHub. GitHub we are using as version control software. We discussed about Maven. So what is the purpose of Maven? What is the purpose of Maven? Build tool. Maven is build tool for compilation plus test execution, compilation plus test execution plus packaging we are going to do by using this Maven. Okay, so these are the tools we covered in our DevOps course as of now. I think 36 or 37 classes completed for DevOps. So in these 36 classes, we discussed about Maven, how to set up Maven in our system, how to create Maven projects, Maven project folder structure, Maven dependencies, Maven repositories, Maven plugins, Maven goals, how to create standalone project by using Maven, how to create web application by using Maven, how to execute Maven goals we discussed. We discussed about GitHub, how to create Git account, Git repository, public repository, private repository, how to execute Git bash commands, how to work with Git bash like init command, config command, status command, add command, commit command, push command, pull command, conflict command, stash command, right? Merge command, rebase command, git branches, conflicts, pull request. We discussed in the GitHub. Then we discussed about the Tomcat, how to install the Tomcat server in the Linux, how to change the Tomcat port number, how to access Tomcat admin console, how to add the users in the Tomcat, Tomcat users.xml, Tomcat servers.xml file, and how to deploy the war file to the Tomcat server through admin console. We understood. SonarQube. SonarQube, how to set up a SonarQube in our Linux machine, how to install the Sonar, how to deploy code, how to run the code, how to do the code quality checking by using Sonar with the Sonar credentials, with the Sonar token, how to create a custom quality profiles in the Sonar, how to create a custom quality gates in the Sonar, Sonar issues, what kind of issues that Sonar is going to provide, and how to integrate all these things with the Jenkins. Maven, Git, Tomcat, Sonar, everything is integrated with the Jenkins. So we created Jenkins job, which will take the code from the GitHub, which will package by using Maven, which will do the code review by using Sonar, and finally it is going to deploy the code to Tomcat server. The Tomcat server we have taken in the AWS cloud. Okay, So this is what we have learned. Terraform. Terraform is used to create the infrastructure by writing the code. Automatic infrastructure creation can be achieved by using Terraform. A very simple language we are using for Terraform scripts, which is HCL, HashiCorp Corporation language we are using, right? Ansible is used to create the infrastructure. Sorry, it is used to manage the configurations required for our machines. By using Ansible, we can do the configuration management for our machines. By using Ansible, we can do the configuration management for our machines. Terraform and Ansible both are having different purpose. Ansible to install the softwares in the existing machines. Terraform is used to create the machines. All right. So with this, we completed these tools. Fine. Now, the next two tools that we need to discuss in our course, Docker, Kubernetes, JFrog, JFrog, Grafana, Prometheus, Grafana, Prometheus. This Grafana, JFrog, Prometheus can be completed in one day. Just if I take the 2 hours on one weekend, then I will complete all these three. There is nothing much to discuss about the JFrog, Grafana, and Prometheus. The Grafana, Prometheus are for reporting purpose to create a dashboard to monitor our application performance, monitoring tools. Grafana, Prometheus. JFrog is used to store our artifacts. Right. So majority of the time it is going to take for Docker and Kubernetes. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with this Dockers and Kubernetes. Okay. So it will take, guys, it will take 2 weeks. So I will try to increase some duration of the class also. Then we will go with New Relic. New Relic also will not take much time, man. New Relic, if you want, I can take one session, no problem. That is a performance monitoring tool. So Docker, Kubernetes, JFrog, Grafana, Prometheus, New Relic, all these things can be done. All these things can be done by using within 1 or 2 days of time. We can complete all these tools. It's not a big deal. So these are the tools. These two will take some long time. So Docker and Kubernetes, it is going to take some long time. Okay. So once the Docker and Kubernetes completed, one weekend we will take for all these things. JMeter, why JMeter required for a DevOps engineer? JMeter for developers, performance testing. JMeter not required for DevOps. DevOps engineers will not work with JMeter. Okay? DevOps engineers will not work with JMeter. JMeter for developers to do the performance testing. Got it. Fine. Okay. So these are the things that we are going to implement. So once these tools are completed, then we will do some projects. So how to do the CI/CD, how to do the real-time CI/CD for the projects. So I will show you CI/CD for Java. For Java projects, already we have seen CI/CD for Java projects using Docker. CI/CD for Java projects using Docker. CI/CD for Java projects using Docker and Kubernetes. CI/CD for Python projects. CI/CD for Python project. CI/CD for Angular or any Node.js application that I'm going to take. Node.js project. Okay. So like this, CI/CD for .NET. I will show you for .NET project. So these are the real projects that we are going to set up the real CI/CD by using the tools that we have learned. So not only for currently we are learning for Java, right? Currently we are learning for Java. Okay, I will show you CI/CD for Angular project also. CI/CD for Angular project, which is front-end application. CI/CD for front-end application. For back-end application and for front-end application, how to do the CI/CD. These projects also we are going to discuss. These are the real live projects that we are going to in the company, how this implementation is going to happen, how the implementation is going to happen in the real time. For CI/CD implementation is going to happen for different tech stack projects that we are going to practice. Currently, we have learned some tools. Here, guys, which tool is specific to Java? Which tool is specific to Java here? Which tool is specific to Java? All the tools are specific to Java. Maven, Tomcat. Maven, Tomcat. These tools are specific to Java. Remaining tools are universal, right? Terraform is not specific to any language. Ansible is not specific to any language. GitHub is not specific to any language. SonarQube is not specific to any. These are multiple language supporters. Okay. So here, once these tools are completed, so 2 weeks I'm going to take for this Dockers and Kubernetes. Within 2 weeks only, we'll try to finish with some long sessions for the Dockers and Kubernetes. And these all the tools will take only 2 days of time. JFrog, Grafana, Prometheus, New Relic. 1 weekend if I take for this, it will be completed. These projects that we need to implement for 1 weekend. How to implement the CI/CD pipelines for different tech stack projects that we are going to understand, then we can finish it. So mostly under 3 weeks, we are going to take to complete our batch, guys. So total syllabus, whatever is pending for us, so it is going to complete. So when I am doing this CI/CD pipelines using Docker, Kubernetes, everything I will do with the AWS only. So AWS project also will be included as part of this. There is no separate project for AWS. Whatever the CI/CD I am doing, this infrastructure I will set up on the AWS. So it is a combination of DevOps with AWS project we are going to implement by using the CI/CD pipelines. Got it, Mr. Venkat? AWS project means whatever the infrastructure I'm going to take, that infrastructure I will be taking on the AWS. So that will be the combination of DevOps with AWS real project implementation. Got it? So this pending syllabus, so we are going to target for next 20 days of time. Next 3 weeks, I need to complete the pending syllabus. Okay. Clear for all of you? 50 microservices if we have, do we need to create 50 EC2 instances? So it depends, man. If your instance having more capacity, then you can run 50 instances as 50 containers in one machine also, no problem. If you have 50 microservices, instead of creating one EC2 instance for one microservice, every microservice can be run as one Docker container in one machine also. You can run it in one machine also. You can run it using 50 containers. But if you run 50 containers in one machine, then it will become a burden, right? It will become a burden. So that we need to reduce. So instead of deploying that 50 in one machine, 50 containers if you are running in one machine, burden will be increased, so we can divide them. Okay. AWS Lambda project. What I need to explain in the AWS Lambda, man? So code will be there. You just need to configure the trigger points when to execute which code. AWS Lambda. So you need to create the handlers in the Java. If you create 10 handlers in the Java, for 10 handlers, 10 Lambda functions will be created. So for the Lambda functions, we'll going to give the trigger point, URL endpoint we are going to map. When the URL will hit, that project is going to execute. That code, that handler is going to execute. Okay, fine. Are you guys good with this, our roadmap for the next 3 weeks? Are you guys clear with the roadmap for next 3 weeks? Good. So from tomorrow, we are going to start with Docker. Tomorrow, we are going to start with Docker. Right? Fine, guys. So any questions, anybody? Yeah, Venkat, what is your doubt? Venkata Rock, what is your doubt, man?
సార్ మనకి AWS లో 3 టైప్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ మనకు చూద్దాం కదా సార్ 3 టైప్స్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ AWS.
Yes sir, yes we'll discuss. Yeah, here only it is going to cover, right? So what project? So you want one project on the Lambda, okay? So if you create the handlers in the Lambda, so if you create a Java project with the handlers, then we are going to configure. I will add that here, no problem. Anything else?
అదే సార్ AWS ప్రాజెక్ట్ కావాల్సింది. అంటే
Yeah,
ఇంటర్వ్యూకే పోతున్నాను. AWS గురించి చాలా అడుగుతున్నారు అడ్డు మళ్ళీ.
sir, I have one question for you. What is the meaning of AWS project? Can you do the complete project infrastructure by using only AWS without DevOps? No, right?
That is
It
on the
is it is the combination. So whenever you are asking about it, sir, simple example, let me tell you.
Yeah.
When you are going to ask me a question, AWS project means in the real time, AWS project means you know what they will do? VPC creation, subnet creation,
Okay.
VPC creation, subnet creation, internet gateway, route tables, subnet association they are going to do. Then after that, they are going to create RDS. Okay. Then they are going to create a S3 bucket for the project. They will create EC2 instances based on that IP addresses, whatever we used. Then they will create a CloudWatch. They will attach the CloudWatch to the EC2 instances. They will create a domain name for our application. Domain name, domain mapping, domain name, domain mapping by using load balancer. By using load balancer, they are going to do the domain mapping. They will configure auto scaling. This is called AWS project. So AWS engineer, whenever we get a project requirement, AWS engineer will create the infrastructure, will give you IP addresses of your machines. That's it. AWS project completed. There is nothing.
మనకి ఇక్కడ దీంట్లో ELK ఉంది సార్, ELK ECK Kubernetes సంబంధించి.
ECS that we are going to cover here. Na? I'm going to tell you how to deploy the application by using Docker containers to AWS. Already I covered how to deploy Docker container in the ECS service. You just need to upload your Docker image name, then it is going to run on the Docker, that is going to create the Docker cluster. It is going to run your EKS. I have not explained, I will explain that here. So here when I mentioned CI/CD project with Docker, it is including AWS ECS service. When I mentioned project with Docker Kubernetes, it is including ECS and EKS service in the AWS.
సార్ మనకి REST APIs కి మనం లోపల ఇక్కడ AWS లో REST APIs ఉండే కదా సార్, దాన్ని క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి. అంటే ఈ సర్వీసెస్ కి ఒక REST API మనం క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం కదా,
API gateway.
API గేట్వే లోపల REST API మనం క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం కదా సార్.
Yes, we can create it. Yes, we can create it.
అవును సార్, అది ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తాం సార్. కొంచెం చెబితే కొంచెం అంటే మొత్తం క్లారిటీగా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయలేకపోతే, చెబుతున్నా కానీ ఇంటర్వ్యూలో మొత్తం వాళ్ళకి.
Yeah, sure, sir. We will try that. So whatever the question they are asking, you just note down your question, send it to me so that I will add it.
సో
Okay.
మా దాంట్లో మా ప్రాజెక్ట్ కి అయితే మీరు చెప్పిన దాని ప్రకారం ఒక CI/CD ని క్రియేట్ చేయండి సార్. మా మేనేజర్ దానికి.
Sure. So when you are asking me about AWS project means creating these things. That's it. So whenever we get a requirement of a project as the AWS engineer, you will get a task from your management to create infrastructure required for the project. They will tell you what infrastructure they need. You need to create that infrastructure and you need to send the IP addresses of the machines. That is called AWS project. Then DevOps project means creating the pipelines, installing the softwares, creating the pipelines, making the pipelines ready to execute. So this is the DevOps duty. So it is the combination of DevOps with AWS that we are going to do by using this CI/CD pipelines. That is what the projects that we are going to cover. I'm not covering about only Java. I'm going to take different technology specific projects to implement the CI/CD pipelines. Not only for Java, I'm taking for front-end application, I'm taking for back-end application also. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Fine. Good. Anything else, guys? So get ready for tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to start with Docker's first session. What is Docker? Why we need to go for Docker? That we are going to discuss in the tomorrow. I think already you guys gone through the Docker demo session video in the AWS classes itself. I have given the video for Docker.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Using embedded Tomcat server, Power microservices. So
Yes.
how to do CI/CD with that Spring Boot embedded Tomcat?
You no need to do anything for that. So if you want to deploy the Spring Boot application with the embedded Tomcat, you just need to execute the jar file. That's it.
Okay.
You no need to set up the Tomcat server. You no need to deploy that war file to the Tomcat web apps folder. Whenever you are doing a CI/CD, you just write one shell script command. Java space hyphen jar space jar file name. That jar will be executed. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. That is called Spring Boot execution flow. You don't need to set up the Tomcat also manually for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, sir. My question is regarding as you earlier mentioned that there will be a resume building.
Yes,
we will-
definitely. That will be covered, sir. Once all the syllabus topics are completed, then I will take the resume preparation also. I will give you interview questions also.
Okay. And
Yeah.
one more question: like, do we like after the completion of this course, do we have the access to the notes which
Yeah,
you have uploaded?
yeah, notes daily you can download it. Na? You can save that file. When you click on the download option, you can save it in your system. You can keep it with you.
Sure, sir. Okay.
Yeah. You can download it. So
Okay.
whenever you download, it is opening in the new window, right? You just to do
Yeah.
Control yes. That file you can save it in your system.
Okay. After one time, probably it will get deleted.
Yes, after some time we will delete. If you, I mean, even if we delete it, it will not affect you, right? Because you are saving that in your system.
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, we will have to take care of it.
Yes. Okay. So
Hello?
next 3 weeks is very crucial. The
Hello?
final stage, the climax for our course, guys. Docker's Kubernetes. That is the remaining reporting tools. Those are very simple. The only thing is Docker Kubernetes. That is very, very important because nowadays in every interview, they are asking questions from Dockers and Kubernetes. Yeah. Hi, sir.
Sir, I am unable to launch EC2 using Terraform.
Okay. Debashish, right? Can you
Yes.
share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Guys, see this Debashish facing some issue to launch EC2 using Terraform. Let's help him to resolve that issue. Yeah, Debashish, unmute your mic and share your screen, Debashish.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, share karo bhai.
Sir, my screen is visible.
Yes, I can see this.
Okay, sir.
Creating EC. One second. Let me check it. So, do you have the security group with this name?
Yes, sir. Terraform.
Can you show me?
SD.
Can you show me that security group name? Go to your EC2 security groups. Guys, for Docker new Zoom link, I think you have the new Zoom link to attend the session from tomorrow.
This one, sir.
Terraform underscore SG. Okay. Now go to your Terraform script. Yeah. Provider AWS region access key, secret key, AWS instance, AMI, T2 micro, key name. Is the key name correct which you have given?
Yes, sir. Correct one.
Now run this script. Show me once what's happening.
Sir, init command repeatedly.
Can you do the ls-l now?
Okay, sir.
Can you delete that state file?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Deleted.
Yeah. Now can you do Terraform init? Yes. Now can you do Terraform format and validate? Spelling mistake, Terraform format.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, validate. Yeah, plan. Is that user having EC2 full access?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now run it. Terraform apply auto approve. Terraform apply auto approve. Auto approve. Approve spelling mistake. APPROU. Yeah.
Again, sir.
Failed to parse the. No, you have given double approve. One hyphen you need to give.
Sir, is it correct now?
Yes. It's failing.
Yes, sir.
Easy to instance invalid parameter value for parameter group id is invalid, value cannot be empty. Can you copy that error? Can you paste in 1 second with AWS instance, AWS VM server, in resource AWS instance, AWS VM server, resource AWS VM server? Can you go to that script? Can you edit it? Can you edit it?
Sir, where need to be edit?
AWS VM server है ना,
Yes, sir.
उसको edit करो, कुछ अलग नेम दे दो. AWS VM servers. Yes, ऐड करो server. हाँ ठीक है. Security groups, find Terraform SG, key pair name EC2, key pair Terraform underscore SG. Yeah, now try.
Sir, again I will delete TF file.
हाँ डिलीट कर देना. Yeah, now directly plan it and execute.
Sir, it is still creating error.
Oh, 1 second. You're creating EC2 instance, invalid parameter value, group ID is invalid. Creating EC2 instance, invalid, group ID.
Can you Google that same error with in Google? Copy that Google.
Can you copy
Okay.
that just first line? Can you copy the first line and paste it in the Google? I'm doubting about that security group, sir.
Sir, can you try different security group?
Yeah, first इसको copy करके देखो. हाँ, open that. Click on it. Can you come down? Same error. Security groups. So scroll down. Security group IDs. At the top of the page, the security group IDs are specified for EC2. So scroll down. Security group IDs. Can you try with the different security group now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is another launch wizard is there ना, इसको copy करो. Launch wizard 1. Launch wizard 1 is available ना, इसको
Sir,
copy
इसको?
कर दो. हाँ कुछ भी.
ठीक है, sir.
group name. Yes. यार ये नेम ना ये दूसरा ये सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप नेम दिस इज द ग्रुप नेम ना not this is the tag name group name means this one yeah
Okay, sir.
इसको कॉपी करो that is you need to use yes copy this edit your file paste this remove this paste it just right click yes yeah that's it remove the tf file again ls-l state file is there remove it
Yes, sir.
no just write t it will come t tab it will give the
Okay.
name yeah ls-l then init
Sir, maybe इस बार चल जाएगा.
try करो plan apply auto approve
Sorry. Yes, sir. मैंने सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप गलती में दिया था.
yes
It is not creating.
That's buddy.
so what is the issue
The security group.
security group name so whatever the name that you have given that is not the actual security group name
Yes, sir.
okay good fine anyone else having question Mahmoud what is your doubt Mahmoud yeah Mahmoud what is your doubt
Hello, can you hear me?
yes I can hear you
Okay, good, thank you. So I've got a question. When I create this EC2 instance using Terraform, in like next to resource, that's my first question. We've got AWS instance and then AWS server. My question is, why do we mention AWS server?
no that is just alias name you can keep any name for that AWS first one whenever you give the resource name is a mandatory name based on that only it is going to identify so whatever the AWS server that I am giving that name you can give anything that is just a alias name
This is alias name. Okay, thanks. Second question, that's for this. I gave these tags. So the tags I can see in AWS console, it shows it is displayed as Terraform server. So for this tag name, I understand. But what will be shown, like if I use Terraform software, if I download it myself, I don't use any AWS console, because yesterday what we did, we created an instance, and then from that instance, we did another instance using Terraform. But what if I don't use AWS at all, like the AWS console?
I did not understand your question sir.
Okay,
can you come again
if I want to create an instance, but I don't want to use AWS console.
you want to create a instance
Resource, yeah, any resource, but I don't want to use like AWS console, just like what we did right now.
you don't want to use like this
Yeah, now this is a question, like, is it possible? Because like right now, you see, he showed us, he created an instance on using AWS console, and then from that instance, he ran his Terraform file.
no without EC2 instance you cannot execute your that na? So you first of all you need one machine to run your script right
Okay, so we always have to do it like this. That's the only way.
yes right
Okay.
I mean so here You no need to create a EC2 instance to run the script. That script you can run from your Windows machine also. So it is not mandatory that you need to use only Linux machine to run that script. You can run the script from your Windows machine also.
Oh, and then it will create. So I
Yes,
don't have
because
to log on
yes,
to
you no
AWS
need
console.
to. Yeah, not required. Why? Because whenever we are executing the script, we are giving our IAS user account credentials. Na internally, Terraform will connect to the AWS using those credentials. So whether you are running the script from EC2 instance, whether you are running from Windows machine, it doesn't matter. It's not mandatory for you.
Yeah, thanks. I just had one more question, and that's in regards to Git bash. When I like everything is fine, but when I try to pull it, and also when I try to push the WAR file into my GitHub, I've got an error, and then the error is fatal, refusing to merge unrelated histories. And I've got 2 repo in my GitHub, and both of them are empty.
So you are unable to push the changes to your GitHub repository.
Yeah, well, I've never pushed anything into my GitHub repo because I was not able to. And the error is refusing to merge unrelated histories because I've
So
got
you
2.
till today you are not able to push anything to your GitHub repository. That is what you are saying.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you share your screen and show me that?
Yeah, I can. Okay, I can share the. Okay.
Why? Yeah, because we have done so many topics based on the Git repository. Why are you not able to push it? I'm surprised, man. I'm making you co-host to share your screen and show me that. What is the issue you are facing?
Can you see my screen?
1 second.
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Did you configure your username and your Gmail here?
Yeah, and then yeah, this is the the URL that I've taken from my.
No. Can you do the clear? Can you do the clear?
Oh, I can't do it now because I've stopped here, and then it will take some time to restart all of everything.
No,
again.
I want you to do everything from the scratch. Create a brand new repository, push one file to that. I want to see that how you are doing that. Close this Git bash.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, just bear with me, please.
Guys, check it. What is the mistake he's doing?
Yeah, just bear with me, please. Let's see. Okay, let's just keep home. Yeah, can you see my GitHub account?
Yeah. So create a new repository. Go to your repositories, click on your username,
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, I've got the repo here. I've got
go to
yeah, here.
repositories, create a new repository, give any name,
Blake. Yeah.
yes. So now go to your directory, create one dummy file, go to your normal directory where your project is available. Yeah.
Yeah, here.
So in the DevOps, na? Okay, open Maven web app. Let's delete the .git folder. Delete the .git. Now open git bash here. Open git bash. Right click and open git bash. Git bash. Yeah, do the git init. Just follow the commands which are displaying in the GitHub repository.
Yeah.
Yes. That is not required. README file not required. That you can ignore.
So the git commit, yeah.
First add those files, git status, git add -a, that files, whatever the files you have, you need to add them. All the files, not this readme, all the files you have in your folder.
Okay, I'm just gonna git hard. Okay. 1 second.
Git add space dot. Type git status.
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, and then space dot.
Git status,
Okay, and then git commit.
no, 1 second, man. Git add dot only, so no file is added there, right? So can you do execute git rm -catched git rm space rm remove space, you can see the above command -catched. Yeah, that one.
Oh, this one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Catched space dot enter. Not removing recursively. Git rm -r. You need to execute rm command with -r. Space dot. Execute the same command with dot at the end. Dot. Yes. Yeah. Now do the git status. Yes. Now add this file. Now do the git status. Okay. This file is add git add dot. Okay. Git status. Now add this file. Commit this file.
And start
Yeah. Git push. You specify that version and all. There is a git branch command is there, na? Go to repository. There is a git branch -m. Yeah, take this git branch -m. Copy this command. Just execute it.
So is that git branch?
Capital M.
Capital M. Yes. Then git remote add origin. You copy that URL.
So okay.
Copy.
Copy that, man. Why to type?
Okay, and then now so this one, yeah.
No, not that one.
Yeah, because that's the new name. That's the one that I've just created, right?
Yeah, you copy that. Yeah. Now go and copy the next command.
I have another one. Okay, git push. This one, yeah. can't be established.
Yes. Permanently added github.com. Oh, no, it is failed, man. It failed.
It failed. Oh,
Permission denied for this. Could not read from remote repository. Please make sure you have the correct access rights and repository exists. Have you done any changes to security keys in the repository?
I created like a year ago, so I don't remember if I did something last year.
Yeah, maybe because of that, the permissions are not available. Create a new Git account. You have added some files permissions there. Some keys you have created, because of that, it is not establishing that connection.
Okay, so I will create another one and I will try with this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Fine, guys. Good. Thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow. So tomorrow there is a new Zoom link to join the session on Dockers. Bye-bye. We'll meet again.